All right, guys, happy Friday to you. Now, today's another one of those days where I have some good news and I have some bad news for you. So I'll start with the good news first, and that is this. I'm coming off a solid 3-2 day in my 5 personal sports bets on BrockPage.com yesterday. Always nice to get a winning day under your belt and obviously a few bucks in your pocket. Now, the bad news is this. My Major League Baseball tier package bet streak was snapped. We had the over in that Cleveland Angels game and really didn't even come that close. So that's going to drop us down to 6-1 in our last 7 Major League Baseball tier package bets on BrockPage.com. Still doing a real nice job in that membership. And guys, I do have another Major League Baseball tier package bet going off here today. And if you think I can get back on track, the link for that play is in the description section below. And of course, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, not only do I offer free sports picks right here on my YouTube channel, I also sell my personal bets on BrockPage.com. And I do have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. So really, there's something for everybody there. There's something for bankrolls of all sizes. Now, guys, I currently have over 905 members who are signed up and active on that website right now. And guys, if you want to see if I'm betting the over or the under in tonight's NBA playoff game, I also have my NBA tier package bet going off here this evening, where I'm also 3-1 in 3-1 of my last 4 picks in that membership as well. So, guys, if you want to see my current sports betting record, you can do that for free right now by going to BrockPage.com. It's located right there on the homepage. Now, I have a loaded show here for you today, so let's get into it. Enough with the commercials. We're going to start off with the Padres taking on the Pirates. 6:35 Eastern start time on Friday, April 29th, 2022. Now, San Diego's -$2 with the total at 7.5. Yu Darvish for the Pods, Zach Thompson for Pittsburgh. Now, Thompson's off to a pretty bad start this season. 0-2 record and a 10.80 ERA. Now, the Pirates have also lost 4 out of their last 5. And they've had some problems at the plate as well. Pittsburgh scoring only 3.7 runs a game. And they're averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game when batting. They're taking on a tough Padres pitching staff who's actually amongst the best in the National League in getting hitters out themselves. The Pods currently find themselves in the top 5 in the bigs and opponents' batting average. And they're also fanning over 9.5 batters a game themselves. Starting pitcher Yu Darvish, he has 20 of those strikeouts thus far in the year. And he also comes into today's ball game with a 1.08 whip. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Pods' last 4 straight all got over the posted number. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh saw 5 out of their last 9 at PNC Park get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Diego -1.5 in the over 7.5 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Mariners taking on the Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Seattle's -$120, total 7.5 runs. Matt Brash for the Mariners, Eliezer Hernandez for Miami. And despite a few rough patches in the early going here, Hernandez still does a nice job with strikeouts. He struck out 15 batters in just over 15 innings pitched this year. Meanwhile, offensively, the Fish are actually in the top 10 in the majors right now in hits per game at home. Now, a lot of folks talk about this Marlins lineup, but doing a good job getting on base in front of their home fans. Now, Jazz Chisholm, he's batting .308 this year with 4 home runs and an OPS of 1.029. Meanwhile, Joey Wendell's batting .321 himself with 5 doubles and 8 runs scored. Now, they're taking on a Seattle team who's winning only 40% of their road games right now, and they've also had a tough time getting on base when they travel. The Mariners are currently in the bottom 3 in the majors right now in road hits per game. So certainly struggling to get on the base passes in that particular category. Anyway, when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two teams, Seattle scoring less than 3.5 runs a game in their last 10 contests against the Fish. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, starting pitcher Matt Brash, he also comes into today's ball game with significant control issues. He's walked 11 batters on the year already and also has a 1.47 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, Seattle's currently 70% to the under in their contests on the road. Meanwhile, the Marlins are currently 12-6 to the under for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean toward Miami plus $1 in the under 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Red Sox taking on the Orioles, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Boston's minus 135, totals 9 runs. Rich Hill for the Bo Sox, Kyle Bradish for Baltimore. Now Bradish comes, he makes his debut here today for Baltimore. Actually showed some pretty good stuff this year at AAA Norfolk. But having said that, though, this is the big leagues. This is a different ball game. And even if he ends up throwing a gem, it's no guarantee he's going to get the W because he's probably not going to get the run support he needs. The Zo's lineup strikes out more times per contest than any other team at home. They're also in the bottom 3 in the league right now in home scoring. They're taking on a Boston team on the other side of things who does a pretty nice job putting runners across the plate on the road. These guys actually find themselves in the top 10 in the majors in road scoring. And they're also led by Rafael Devers, who scored 13 times already and also has 9 extra base hits. Meanwhile, teammate Xander Bogaerts, he's hitting .392 himself with 7 doubles and a dozen runs scored. Now, total-wise, 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did fall under the posted number. And as far as this year is concerned, the Bo Sox are officially 10-3 to the under as the official away team. Meanwhile, Baltimore on the other side, they've gone a perfect 6-0 to the under thus far at Camden Yards. I'm going to lean toward Boston minus 135 and the under 9 runs. Next contest I have for you, it is going to be Astros taking on the Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Toronto's minus $120, totals 8.5. Yusei Kikuchi for Toronto, Jose Urquidy for Houston. Now the Astros are on a 3-game winning streak, and they played their best baseball on the road this year. Matter of fact, the Astros are in the top 10 in the bigs in road scoring, and they're led by Yordan Alvarez, who's hit 4 home runs already, along with 26 total bases. Meanwhile, teammate Kyle Tucker, he's hit 4 home runs himself, and he's also driven in 13 runners. Now they're taking on a Toronto team on the other side of things who allows a lot of runs at home. They've also got Yusei Kikuchi on the bump here today, who's walked 10 batters already and has a 1.75 whip. So the Cooch man having some problems with free passes. Now, total-wise, the Blue Jays have allowed nearly 6 runs per contest in their last 10 meetings with the Astros, so another historical trend for you right there. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Houston plus $1 and the over 8.5. Next ball game, Phillies Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are minus $120, total 7 runs. Tyler McGill for New York, Aaron Nola for the Titans. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings fell under the posted number. And in those very contests I just mentioned, both teams are averaging less than 3.9 runs a game, respectively. And speaking of the Mets in this one, they've actually gone 4-3 to the under in their last 7 in Flushing, Queens. New York's also 60% to the under for the entire season at any location. So plenty of unders when it comes to these Mets contests. Now, when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on BrockPage.com. So if you want to see whether I like the red-hot Phillies catching even money on the road, or if I like the consistently good play of New York at home here, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on BrockPage.com. And the link for that bet is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to take the under. Yeah, I'm going to take the under 7 runs in that ball game. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be Twins taking on the Rays, 7:10 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's minus $1.25, total 7.5. Corey Kluber for Tampa Bay, Dylan Bundy for Minnesota. And even though Bundy's looked untouchable in the early going here, the Red Hot Twins have actually played their worst baseball as the away team. Minnesota's just 3-4 straight up in their last 7 on the road. And they're actually in the bottom 5 in the league in road scoring. Now they're taking on Corey Kluber here this evening, who's struck out a dozen batters and also has a 3.68 ERA. Meanwhile, offensively, the Rays can pretty much outscore anybody at the trot. These guys are amongst the best home scoring teams in the American League right now. And they're currently led by Wander Franco, who's hit 4 home runs. And he's also knocked in 12. Meanwhile, teammate Yandy Diaz, he's batting .294 with a dozen walks at the plate as well. Always looks like Yandy's on base. But anyway, total-wise, the Rays are currently 9-4 to the under at Tropicana Field. Meanwhile, the Twins saw 5 out of their last 7 road games fall under the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay minus $1.25 and the under 7.5. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be Angels taking on the White Sox. And that's going to be a 7:10 Eastern first pitch at Guaranteed Rate Field in the South Side. Chicago's minus $1.25 at home, total 7 runs. Lucas Giolito for Chicago, Noah Syndergaard for Los Angeles. Now, Thor Syndergaard, he's off to a real nice start in Los Angeles. He's 2-0 already with a 2.12 ERA and a .82 whip. And in addition to winning their last 5 straight, the Angels have been pounding the baseball this year when they're up to bat. LA is leading the Bigs right now in road hits, and they're also first in the majors in OPS. Taylor Ward has 4 home runs, 11 RBI, and he also has an OPS of 1.271. Meanwhile, Mike Trout's hit 5 home runs himself, along with an OPS of 1.255. Now, both of those guys I just mentioned, they've also been walked 11 times apiece this year, so those guys always on base, and they're taking on a struggling White Sox club on the other side of things, who's gotten the W just 1 time in their last 10 outings. And even though they got a good one in Lucas Giolito on the mound here today, this White Sox lineup offensively just has not been coming through. These guys are scoring only 3.3 runs a game thus far in the year. And they also rank amongst the worst in the American League in OPS. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Chicago's last 7 got over the line. They're also giving up nearly 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the Angels on the other side, they saw 6 out of their last 7 away from home get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Angels plus 105 and the over 7 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Braves taking on the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern start time. Atlanta's minus 130, totals 9 runs. Ian Anderson for Atlanta, Garrett Richards for Texas. Now, Richards is off to a pretty good start this year. He's got a 2.25 ERA and a 1.13 whip. And even though you really don't think much of pitching when it comes to Texas, this Ranger pitching staff is also amongst the better teams in the American League right now in striking batters out per 9. So once again, I know you don't think of pitching much when it comes to Texas, but they're doing a nice job punching batters out. Now they're taking on an Atlanta lineup here today who does strike out an awful lot at the plate themselves. And believe it or not, the Braves are currently in the bottom 3 in the league in road scoring when they're up to bat. Now, pitching-wise, on the other side of things, Ian Anderson really hasn't shown his best stuff so far. He's got a 5.40 ERA right now and a 1.50 whip. And when it comes to the total on this one, Atlanta saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the line. They've also allowed over 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Rangers. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Texas Rangers plus $1.10 in the over 9 runs. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Cubs taking on the Brewers. And that's going to be an 8:10 Eastern start time in Milwaukee. Now the Brewers are minus $1.40 with the total at 8. Adrian Hauser for Milwaukee, Kyle Hendricks for Chicago. Now the bad news is, guys, I can't give you a free pick on this game because I'm betting on it personally and I'm giving it out on my website. But the good news is, this game is being featured as my $2.99 pick on BrockPage.com. It's my extra daily bet. And the link for that play is in the description section below. Now, guys, you're going to get access to that membership today and tomorrow. So it's a 2-day pass to that membership. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or the total in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my extra daily bet on BrockPage.com. And once again, guys, it's going to cost you just $2.99. All right, next ball game, it is going to be Yankees taking on the Royals, 8:10 Eastern start time. The New York Yankees are the $2 favorite, totals 8.5. Nestor Cortes for the Yankees, Chris Bubic for Kansas City. Now, Bubic has had a forgettable start to this 2022 season. He's walked 9 batters in just 7 innings already, and he also has a whip of 3.00. And equally as bad, his ERA is currently above 14. Now, when it comes to wins and losses, the Royals have dropped 5 out of their last 7. And when it comes to offensive production, this Royals lineup is amongst the worst in the American League right now. These guys are scoring only 3.3 runs a game, and they're currently in the bottom 3 in the bigs in OPS at the plate. Now they're taking on starting pitcher Nestor Cortes, who's been a strikeout machine in the early going here. Cortes has fanned 25 batters in just over 15 innings of work, and he also has an ERA of just 1.15. Now, no real surprise here. The lefty also has a whip of actually below 0.65. And when it comes to offensive production in this one, the Yankees have certainly hit for power this year. They're currently in the top 3 in home runs per contest. Anthony Rizzo's got 8 homers on the year. Aaron Judge with 5 home runs himself. When it comes to the number in this one, this game's also being featured as my board member tier package bet on BrockPage.com as well. So if you want to see whether I'm pounding the over in this one, or if I think Cortes can shut him down and keep it under, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my board member tier package bet on BrockPage.com. And just remember, guys, my board member tier package, it's an all-inclusive membership. So you're going to get access to every single bet in every single package that I offer on that website. But as far as making a free pick is concerned for this ball game here, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the New York Yankees minus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. All right, next ball game I have for you, it is going to be D-backs Cards, 8:15 East. St. Louis is minus $1.85, total 7 runs. Madison Bumgarner for Arizona. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis. Now, Wainwright's got a couple of wins on the season already, and he struck out 22. He also comes into today's ball game with a respectable ERA of 3.86. Now, hitting-wise, the Cards are also in the top 10 in the majors in team batting average, and they're averaging nearly 5 runs a game. Tommy Edmonds hit 3 home runs and bats .323 at the plate. Meanwhile, Paul Goldschmidt, he's batting .296 with 8 walks and 9 RBI. Now they're taking on Madison Bumgarner here today, who's 0-1 on the year, and he's walked 10 batters already. Meanwhile, offensively, this could be arguably the worst lineup in the National League right now. The D-backs are batting .178 as a team, and they score fewer runs a game than any other team in the bigs. Now, when it comes to scoring in this one, Arizona's gone 15-5 to the under for the entire season. No real surprise there because they just don't hit the baseball. Meanwhile, St. Louis has gone 80% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean towards St. Louis minus 185 in the under 7 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Reds taking on the Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Colorado's minus 120, totals 10 runs. Antonio Sensatella for Colorado. Hunter Green for Cincinnati. Now, Green's just 1-2 on this season with a 5.27 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. Now, Cincinnati's lost 14 out of their last 15, and they've done an awful job at the plate in the process. Cincinnati's batting just 197 as a club, and they're dead last right now in OPS. They're taking on a Colorado team who's winning 60% of their ball games at Coors Field. And they currently lead the majors in home hits. C.J. Cron's hit 7 home runs and has 18 RBI. Meanwhile, Connor Joe and Charlie Blackmon, they have 4 home runs apiece themselves. And when it comes to OPS, this Colorado lineup's in the top 3 in the majors in that particular category. So I know these guys have struggled with they just struggled with the Phillies on the road here. But it's a whole different ball game when these guys are in the Mile High City. Now, total-wise, Colorado's last 4 straight all got over the posted number. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Cincy. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Meanwhile, the Reds on the other side of things, they saw their last 3 straight get over the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Colorado minus $1.20 in the over 10 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Guardians taking on the Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. Oakland's minus $1.50, total 6.5. Frankie Montas for Oakland, Aaron Savali for Cleveland. Now, Savali's been only a shell of himself thus far in the early going here. He's 0-2 on the year with a 9.58 ERA and a 1.94 WHIP. Now, the Guardians are currently on a 7-game losing streak. These guys are ice cold right now. And they're also allowing nearly 5 runs a game for the entire year. So these guys certainly struggling with their pitching staff. Now, they're taking on an Oakland squad who does a pretty nice job of keeping runners off the bases themselves. As a matter of fact, the A's are in the top 10 in the majors in fewest runs allowed per contest. They also have Frankie Montas on the mound here today, who struck out 25 batters already and has a .81 WHIP. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Oakland's last 6 got over the posted number. They've also averaged nearly 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Cleveland. Meanwhile, the Guardians have gone 7-6 to the over in their games on the road this year. I'm going to lean toward Oakland minus 150 and the over 6.5 runs. Next contest, it is going to be Tigers taking on the Dodgers, 10:10 p.m. East. LA's minus 230, totals 8.5. Tyler Anderson for Los Angeles, Tyler Alexander for Detroit. And as much as I'd like to break down the battle of the Tylers in this one, this game's being featured as my Major League Baseball tier package bet on BrockPage.com here today. So if you want to see whether I'm betting the money line, run line, or total in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my Major League Baseball tier package bet on my website. And once again, guys, just another friendly reminder, we are 6-1 in our last 7 bets in that package. All right, guys, next and final matchup for the video, it is going to be Nationals taking on the Giants, 10:15 Eastern first pitch. San Francisco's minus 220, total 7.5. Alex Wood for the Giants, Aaron Sanchez for Washington. Now, Sanchez is off to a dreadful start this season. He's got an 8.31 ERA and a 1.62 WHIP. Meanwhile, offensively at the plate, the Nats have one of the worst lineups in the National League right now. They're in the bottom 3 in the bigs in home runs per contest, and they're scoring only excuse me. Wow, sorry about that. Anyway, Washington, bottom 3 in the bigs in home runs, and they're scoring only 3.2 runs a game. Now, they're taking on Alex Wood here today, who's 2-0 on the year, and also has an ERA of 2.51. Now, the lefty's also struck out 16 batters, and he has a WHIP of just 1.19. Now, offensively, the Giants have done a real nice job of scoring runs. They're actually in the top 5 in the majors right now in scoring on average per 9. Brandon Belt's hit 4 home runs and has 31 total bases. Meanwhile, Jock Peterson's got 6 home runs on the year as well. Now, keep an eye on Jock. May see him in a limited role here today. He's actually listed as day-to-day. I think he's battling a groin injury. But anyway, total-wise, 8 out of these teams' last 10 meetings fell under the posted number. And as a matter of fact, the Nats scored just 2.2 runs a game on average during that stretch I just mentioned. Now, Washington, on the other side of things, they also find themselves 14-7 to the under for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Francisco -1.5. And the under 7.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Power to you by my website at brockpage.com, where I'm currently 6-1 on my last 7 Major League Baseball tier package bets. I like San Diego -1.5 over 7.5 runs. Give me Miami +$1 under 7.5. I like Boston -135 under 9 runs. Give me Houston +$1 over 8.5. I like the under 7 runs in the Philadelphia-New York Mets game. I also like Tampa Bay -$1.25 under 7.5. Give me the LA Angels +105 over 7 runs. I also like Texas +$1.10 over 9. Now, there's no free pick for the Cubs-Brewers game. That contest is being featured as my $2.99 bet on brockpage.com. I also like the New York Yankees -1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Give me the Cardinals -185 under 7 runs. I also like Colorado -$1.20 over 10. Give me Oakland -150 over 6.5 runs. Now, I also have no free pick for the Tigers-Dodgers game, as that's my $19.99 bet on brockpage.com. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean towards San Francisco -1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, guys, just remember, if you do end up getting a package here today on brockpage.com, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on my website, it's essentially a 2-day pass. You're going to get access today and then tomorrow, and then you're going to get billed again on May 1st. It's just the way Patreon does their billing cycle. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. So if you're on the fence about getting a package, your best idea is probably just to wait till May 1st, where you can get your max value. But regardless of that, guys, if you're still interested in getting a membership here today and you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier package bet itself, you actually get full access to every single bet, every single package that I offer on that website. Once again, the board member package is an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.